Welcome back to this week's episode on international business operations. After that riveting exposé on life after Brexit, we now turn to the section in our show where we focus on a hot topic company and bring in some fabulous consultants for expert insights. Our hot topic today is Tesla and their very special strategic supply chain management. Before we go to Wendy Wang and her international team, let's look at some of Tesla's background information. Tesla Incorporated is an American automotive and energy company based in Palo Alto, California. The company specializes in electric car manufacturing and through its Solar City subsidiary, solar panel manufacturing. It operates multiple production and assembly plants, notably Gigafactory 1 near Reno, Nevada, and its main vehicle manufacturing facility at Tesla Factory in Fremont, California. After 10 years in the market, Tesla ranked as the world's best-selling plug-in passenger manufacturer in 2018, both as a brand and by Automotive Group, with 245,240 units delivered and a market share of 12% of the plug-in segment sales. Tesla sales in the US increased by 28% from 48,000 in 2017 to 182,400 in 2018. Let's look a little bit closer at their business strategy. Tesla aims to change the automotive industry by creating many innovative pieces that fit together. This strategy was called complex coordination. Its marketing, production, sales, and technology strategies are all notably different from its competitors. Tesla's sales strategy is to sell its vehicles online and in company-owned showrooms, rather than through a conventional dealer network. Moving towards an e-commerce strategy, customers are able to then customize and order their vehicles online. Tesla's technology strategy focuses on pure electric propulsion technology and transferring other approaches from the technology industry to transportation, such as online software updates. Tesla allows its technology patents to be used by anyone in good faith. Licensing agreements include provisions whereby the recipient agrees not to file patent suits against Tesla or to copy its designs directly. Tesla has a great technological competitive advantage. Unlike other automakers, Tesla does not use individual large battery cells, but thousands of small cylindrical lithium-ion commodity cells like those used in consumer electronics. It uses a version of these cells that is designed to be cheaper to manufacture and lighter than standard cells by removing some safety features. Tesla is well known for being an original equipment manufacturer, an OEM. This helps to ensure quality throughout the supply chain. Now we can dive a little bit more into their supply chain strategy. They commonly use what is called vertical integration. A century ago, this sort of vertical integration was the rule. Companies integrated backwards by buying sources for raw materials and suppliers, and forwards by buying distributors. Tesla currently produces its cars in California. This goes against traditional production plans of larger vehicle manufacturers. For example, Ford are planning a new $1.6 billion factory in Mexico. Tesla's plant is less than 18 miles away from company headquarters in Palo Alto, home of not only some of the best technical talent in the world, but also the most expensive real estate anywhere. The plant is a full-service auto plant, including a supplier park built in the immediate vicinity with a focus on large, heavy parts with extensive variations. In the future, Tesla is also building an absolutely giant battery factory in nearby Nevada. This plant will take in elemental raw materials like copper and aluminium and produce finished battery packs to feed the car plant. We have an expert from Germany, Dr. Max Powers, who specializes in vertical integration. Let's turn to him to find out more examples about challenges in vertical integration.
Right, thanks Regina. As an expert on vertical integration, let me just give you a bit of context here by having a look on an example on failed vertical integration. A company called Alcoa announced in 2015 that they will split into two independent companies by separating its downstream and upstream businesses. But why did they do so? Why did its vertical integration strategy fail? The thing is with vertical integration strategies is that they fail because they do not meet a certain condition. This certain condition is often market failure, which is hurting a company's business, that vertical integration can ameliorate. The most common are supply risk, demand risk, and profit gouging. So let's just quickly consider these following examples. The first one is Starbucks. What they did, they bought and roasted its own coffee because they didn't trust industry suppliers to provide the quality its coffee drinks businesses required. The second example is Ferrero, the maker of Nutella, in case you didn't know. What they did, they bought a hazelnut processor, breaking its long-standing refusal of mergers and acquisitions because they feared a disruption in supply of the essential ingredient in its most important product, which is Nutella. The Alphabet Incorporated, formerly known also as Google, they have set up their own mobile network to demonstrate that better internet service is possible, so customers will demand more from established operators, which will in turn drive more internet traffic and thus greater demand for its searching business. Another very known example is Apple Incorporated. What they did, they built their own stores to display and sell and support its product on the ground in a manner that is consistent with its brand's values, because it doesn't trust, again, other retailers to do that. Very good example as well is Netflix. They did something called backward integration into programming because it says that the costs per hours viewed is reduced significantly by producing a series such as House of Cards instead of licensing all its content. So if you have a look at these 5 examples, what they have in common is these companies we just had a look at, they are pursuing vertical integration to mitigate some form of perceived market failure, which ranges from supply risk for Starbucks and Ferrero to demand, which was Google and Apple, to profit gouging in Netflix case. However, for these strategies to work, for these vertical integration strategies to work, the thing is for Alcoa, Alcoa was missing basically all of these risks. You can't just vertically migrate for fun. You need to have risks in order to vertically migrate so you can make the best of it. So in Tesla's case, just to get back to the topic here, in Tesla's case, supply risk is dominant and supply is at stake. So therefore, I think as an expert that a vertical integration strategy will be the best case and also a good play for them.
Thank you so much, Dr. Powers, for that amazing insight. With that, we are going to travel now to Hong Kong and have Professors Wendy Wang and Professor Jack Danger, who are here to consult on this very special case and give expert advice for Tesla. Over to you.
Thank you, Regina. We all think the problem for Tesla is sourcing.
Yeah, I mean, at the start of last year, they aimed to produce 5,000 Model 3s per week. This, like the rest of the production line, was delayed massively. Musk is facing a huge amount of pressure from not only his stakeholders, but also the organisation's own private finance firms to reach these targets. And yet, Tesla haven't been able to produce their vehicles at the rate they're demanding. Musk has said this is a relatively small downshift, and yet the share price of Tesla has fallen by 6.8% over the last quarter. I think this shows a lot more than a relatively small downshift.
This is down to Tesla procurement policy. Take, for example, the battery production facility saw massive delays to its production schedule. Official source at Tesla say it was due to their sole supplier dropping the ball. Because of this, Tesla had to verify their inter-development process, meaning the company had lent even more cash. They had to spending $500,000 every hour, with production often at time at a standstill. Its situation in increasing until unrelatable. Reports have stated that Musk himself has been on the production line at 2 a.m.
Yeah. If you look at Musk and Tesla, we feel that they're too reliant on their suppliers, which leads to these large delays in production. Tesla is still a small company in terms of the motor industry right now, They don't have the capital or supplier relations similar to other manufacturers within the market. Tesla also work with products which are only sourced by a single supplier, like you said, Wendy. This causes an issue if they are unavailable to supply the specific product. This will often lead to a bottleneck in production, which leads to these delays. Tesla, on their annual report, quoted, "To date, we have not qualified alternative sources for most of the single-source components used in our vehicles, and we generally do not maintain long-term agreements with our suppliers." So there you go. Tesla have even identified themselves the problem of single sourcing as one of their current biggest operating issues, but they don't have the means to fix it without sourcing alternative methods or suppliers. This directly relates to Tesla's issues of delivering quantity.
Great, so what exactly would your expert proposals be?
Yeah, we both think improved Tesla approach of SRM, which is a Japanese technical of supplier relationship management to ensure supplier has a great chance to success. The SRM technical is Kurisu. It is when the organization buys into a supplier through the finance help. Typical through buying shares with the supplier, it will ensure that their critical supplier has Tesla best interest at heart and also more probably of success due to increased funding. In the structure, frequently it's like a spider's web was much admired in the 1990s as a way to define a traditional adversarial relationship between the buyer and suppliers. If you own a bit of your own supplier reference, sometimes by your supplier owning a bit of you, the theory said that you are more likely to reach a way of working that it was the multiple benefits to you both that if your relationship is aimed to last. It would towards through the future, following future, agreeing to the long-term trade relationship. This is particularly useful for Tesla as their supplier had a high values degree of the specialists, and so it is unlikely as it is a lot of opportunity for Tesla shop around in order to again competitive advance, and also partner company will often hold a large amount of the supplier stock. This is useful to help Tesla. Again, a barter involves will help the organization meet a structure of 5,000 cars per week. Especially as Tesla has a problem with the security stocks in the past, and also will enhance Tesla current practice of the information shares. As the supplier will accountable to Tesla, they will be required to share information of the supply land to business land to Tesla, helping Tesla to understand supply and demand.
There's no doubt that Elon Musk has the capability to change the dynamics of the motor industry with the Tesla brand. However, the current process needs to improve. We would also recommend restructuring upper management to facilitate expertise. In doing that, it would change the way Tesla think about the procurement processes and the supply chain itself. Whilst Tesla are known for working differently, the use of benchmarking across industries will help to develop best practice. Take, for example, Apple, a very innovative company, are currently manufacturing high volume products very seamlessly. This is mainly due to Steve Jobs employing a man called Tim Cook. Cook was responsible for turning Steve Jobs' revolutionary ideas into reality. Bob Lutz has also had a similar role at General Motors, and they are one of the most successful car manufacturers in the world.
Those are some very interesting proposals. Maybe Elon will be watching us here on YouTube and take some of those considerations to heart. Thank you so much to our teams in Germany and Hong Kong, and also a special mention to JME Motors, who has helped us with a lot of the research for today's case. Join us next week for our episode on Disney's mergers and acquisitions. See you next time.